Alright folks, welcome to some more Premodern content. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be playing the playoffs of the Magic Online Society League. So the way that this works is every month there's two bi-weekly leagues, which you can actually check out in this very channel. And then whoever top 8s both of those leagues gets qualified to the playoffs that we're going to be playing today. So this event is going to be 4 rounds, and we're going to be playing against the other people that play in the league that actually did well. So it's going to be the real deal. And what I'm bringing today is going to be I didn't really look up this deck. It was just more of, first of all, I'm really interested in the whole Dreadnought thing. I think that this combo of Phyrexian Dreadnought plus Stifle plus Vision Charm is very, very strong. And I think that a big part of that is because the card Stifle and the card Vision Charm are surprisingly strong in the format. Like, I think particularly Stifle is busted. Like, it can do so much stuff, like, stifling fetch lands and but there's a bunch of combos that rely on Stifle, stuff like Deranged Hermit, or stuff like like you can stifle the Madness trigger, you can stifle a bunch of random things, and it's a very, very strong card in the format overall, and I just been impressed by how well this works. What I'm gonna be doing though is I'm gonna be combining it with white. White does give us there are a couple of versions of this deck, and what black does is it gives you access to stuff like Duress, Cabal Therapy, and Limdus Vault. Mono blue gives you access to basically always having Gush, basically always having Daze, so you have like a very consistent mana base. And then I've seen other versions that were a little bit greedier, stuff like Esper or whatever, that combines multiple things. So what I'm interested in is this card. This card is very, very strong in Premodern, and I think that it works really, really well in protecting Dreadnought, because there are not that many things that kill the Dreadnought, particularly game 1. So if you drop Meddling Mage and you name Swords Splashers, you will notice that I'm playing my own swords, but I'm only playing 2 copies in the main. But like, you name Swords Splashers, and there's not many other answers besides like an actual Wrath or something like that can answer a Dreadnought in white. Maybe like a Seal of Cleansing or a Disenchant, but they're not going to be playing that many copies. The same is true for like green. Like, you play Meddling Mage and name Naturalize, and now your opponent's in a really, really strong, in a very tough spot. So this card is very, very strong in the format. Also, stops combo decks. Also, the Meddling Mage just does so many things in the format. So we're going to be splashing white in this Dreadnought shell. I've seen some shells playing Lotus Petal. I don't think that's what I'm interested in doing here. What I'm more interested in doing is playing like a more like slow, kind of grindier game, as opposed to trying to drop a Dreadnought on turn 1. I think I want a consistent mana base. I want to be able to play a little bit of a longer game, which we're going to be able to do thanks to Gush specifically. Like, Gush is just messed up. I played the blue-green version in my very first time playing the league, and I went 4-1. I liked it, but I felt like the deck was a little bit clunky and the mana was a little bit too rough. So what we're going to be doing today is like splashing white. The mana works a lot better, even though the actual mana base looks exactly the same, but the mana requirements are a lot more flexible, right? So like in the other version, I was playing stuff like Nimble Mungus and Werebear, but like those cards you want to be dropping on turn 1 or 2, like no later than that. They're not that great of late top decks. Also, I was playing Mental Note as an enabler for those cards, and like Mental Note is a lot worse than something like Opt, is a lot worse than something like Gush. So because of that, what I'm doing here is like just playing blue-white, and the white enables me to play Enlightened Tutor, which not only finds half of my combo, which is the one that I have the least copies of, right? Like 4 Dreadnoughts versus 8 enablers, but I also have a little bit of a package over here. 1 Seal of Cleansing, 1 Winter Orb. This is a card that is an absolute banger against stuff like the Rock, against stuff like blue-white Standstill or whatever. Phyrexian Furnace against a graveyard-based combo decks, and 1 Seal of Removal, which can be used proactively as a way to like clear a path, or it can also be used defensively, saving like a Dreadnought or a Meddling Mage from removal as well. We're also playing, Counterspell, foils, and like permission that way. In the sideboard, we have access to more Seal of Cleansings, which at this point, like in the matchups where I won this, I'm probably going to just, be bringing them in because I want to draw multiple copies. So at that point, they're not really tutors anymore, but but like I can still find them. Cop Red, this one is actually a tutorable card, and obviously fantastic against stuff like Slide, Goblins, etc. 2 more copies of Swords to Plowshares. This is the removal spell of choice. 2 Hibernations. My experience playing Dreadnought in the past, I was very... let's say that I was a dog to Goblins, but when you say that you're a dog to a deck, you would think, oh yeah, like you're like disadvantaged. No. This is like unwinnable, like straight up unwinnable. So I'm playing a couple of copies of Hibernation to see whether that helps the matchup a little bit. A couple of copies of Gainsay. Gainsay is pretty solid against blue decks overall, stuff like Standstill and whatnot. A bunch of combo decks are blue as well. Blue is just very strong in this format. 3 copies of blue elemental blast effects and hydroblast effects. This is obviously a way to kill turn 1 Lackey. It's a way to counter a fire blast or stuff like that. So red is also one of the best colors in the format. A second copy of Winter Orb for those grindy decks that I was mentioning, and Tormod's Crypt, which is another tutorable target. The reason why I'm playing Furnace in the main deck is that Furnace is you can just cycle it, but Tormod's Crypt is just like the better card in the format against the decks that you want this effect against. So because of that, I'm going to be going with like a little bit of a split here. But yeah, this is going to be the deck we're going to be playing in this event. I already recorded the matches, but there's been like a technical issue in round number 3. Basically, for whatever reason, my OBS reset and I did not have my audio on. Like it didn't recognize my microphone. So I actually recorded the entire round without even noticing. And the worst part is that it was, in my opinion, the best match that I played in this entire series. So I'm still going to have it uploaded there, but there's going to be no audio at all, which I'm really sorry, but obviously I'm not going to record over what ended up being like a 40-minute match or something like that. So it's just not going to happen. So I'm sorry, you're going to be able to watch the match, but there's going to be no audio whatsoever. So no commentary for that one, which makes me very, very, very sad. But super, super cool match. I highly recommend you check it out if you're interested. That's going to be it, though. We're going to play 4 rounds, and we're going to see how the deck performs. If you're interested in supporting my content, you can do so with something as simple as hitting that like and subscribe button and leaving a comment down below, letting me know what you like, what you didn't like. And then, of course, you can also support through Patreon. You can support my content through just making a donation. I can play any deck list of your choice in any format of your choice in a YouTube video. Or finally, you can book some coaching if you're interested in taking your game to the next level. So without further ado, let's get this party started. Okay, what are we looking at for our first round? Playing against Polemaster. This hand looks great. We have our mana's looking good. Don't know what our opponent's up to. But we have half of our combo, a way to dig, 2 ways to dig actually, counterspell. We're going to be hitting our land drops, basic plane. I wonder if this is Parfait. Well, that's a messed up start. That is a messed up turn. Wow, okay. If they go land tax here, we're going to be in trouble. We're going to be in trouble. No land tax. Okay, definitely going to play around Plow. Going to keep that on top so that we can play... I think I'm going to name Swords to Plowshares. I can name Oath. Let's name Sword. Let's name Swords. Sure, he can have Oath, but maybe I was supposed to just like pass the turn there. Yeah, oh, Library. Okay. It's not the worst thing for us. Also a missed land drop. So now we're holding on to double counterspell. Library's online. You're gonna get to draw a couple of cards off it, but pays only 4. Seal of Cleanse seems fine. It don't matter too much. So now we do have the combo set up, but I'm gonna chill on it. And Light and Tutor is fine. Land tax on top. So we're gonna counter that one. So they knew about that counterspell. From the other thing. So we're hoping for Stifle or another Vision Charm, I guess. Can't be messing around too much with that Gaia's Blessing. Draws a card, shuffles. Could have dazed that, but I mean, still missing land drops. It's mostly just the shuffle itself, basically. So Swords to Plowshares is a dead card, so that part sucks. But everything else is looking pretty good. Thank you. Daze that. Is Melee Mage gonna go the distance here? Gush by bouncing both islands. Another Melee Mage is sick. So I guess I can just go for the combo here, right? We can beat Seal of Cleansing. So, and it's better to Stifle here. No, actually it would have been better to do the opposite. That was a mistake. Because now they can Seal of Cleansing in my upkeep. So that was wrong. Messed that up. So at this point, Oath doesn't matter anymore. Swords to Plowshares also taken care of. Swords to Plowshares covered. Oath is covered. Land tax doesn't matter. What matters for me to play Melee Mage? I can name another Seal of Cleansing. I do think I want to play out the other Melee. So I think I am naming Seal of Cleansing. Because this is the only card that matters here. Or Armageddon? No, that doesn't do anything. Yeah, I think we'll just name Seal of Cleansing here. I may be wrong in doing that. Maybe I'm supposed to just go ahead and hold up Counterspell there, and I can't lose. But I want to make sure that I have lethal, if not for this turn, for the following one. Scroll Rack. That's fine. So now they're going to upkeep. So I messed this up. Like, I obviously messed this. So target artifact faces out. I should have done the exact opposite of what I did, actually. Just gonna play a land and say go. We get to swing here. Opponent down to 2. And I don't think they have any outs anymore. Particularly because the StifleNought is just chilling here. They can't interact with it until my own turn. I'm holding on to Counterspell. I think this is just the lock. Melee Mage OP. Yeah, all of this damage. All of this damage was from Melee Mages. The StifleNoughts didn't do anything. That's funny. So we have a nice little clean cut there with the Swords to Plowshares, bringing the Seal of Cleansing. And I think that's it. Tormod Crypts. Yeah, Crypts, of course. Winter Orb sucks. Tutor's fine. Seal is interesting. Probably not worth it. Yeah, I think this is good. Alrighty. Okay, what do we got here? Sand has got some stuff going. I think I'm going to keep. It really needs to find a land. So if we get to rest on turn 1 and they take my opt, I'm going to be in trouble. But otherwise, Sand's looking good. I mean, we do have the combo. We have Cleansing as nice interaction. Opponent on the 61 card special. A classic. Ooh, that's a pretty low mull. That's a good draw. It's not as good as finding an island, but it'll do. Green and white. Play Oath. That is fine. Let's opt another land. Probably don't need that. Dace is better than land for sure. Double Dace, not that good. So we're gonna play Seal here and we're gonna chill. Seal and chill. Second Oath. That's funny. Oh, I could have daced that, but I mean, does it even matter? We have another Seal. Melee Mage. I guess I should have daced just to quote unquote use my mana. So on tap, Stifle. Huh. Blow that up. Blow that up. Melee Mage. Name Swords to Plowshares. 2 Plowshares. Boom. Again with the Melee Mage beatdown. Good old Melee Mage beatdown. Land is not super great, but it is something. This time around, it is actually correct to go for StifleNought and Stifle the trigger so that I can use Charm as protection. If they do have both, I have another Daze. I do have protection with Tormod Script, with the Vision Charm, sorry. Take 14, and I feel like this is just locked up. Yeah, some pretty low mulligans from my opponent. Kept a double Oath hand against my double Seal of Cleansing hand. Everything just kind of worked out for me. My hand was very strong, to be honest. My hand was very, very... Alright, we get there. 1-0. Source Weirding, wow, yeah. And this is something that I've seen, by the way. Like, Mox Diamond in a deck that plays like 20 low lands can be pretty awkward. Obviously, the card is sick with land tax, right? But if you don't got the engine going, then it's... And also, you know, you're really relying here. Yeah, Pyroclasm would have been pretty good. Abolish? That's pretty funny, actually. That's pretty sick, but obviously, you know, nope, it's kind of brutal. Yeah, I think this Oath deck, this Parfait deck is really, really strong, though. I do think it's very, very good. Okay, here we go with round number 2. This looks like a controlling hand. I think I'm gonna keep it. We got access to daze, counterspell, we got removal. We also got Winter Orb, which could be interesting. Now we have an interesting question. I think I'm gonna go with turn 1 play the island instead of the Adarko Wastes. But it's close, right? But I think having access to daze is potential. Here, I'm just gonna take 2, like this is not that big of a deal. So my opponent didn't do anything last turn, so I think what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna slam this Winter Orb. And if my opponent wants to spend next turn just activating Factory again, that seems to me. So we have Orb plus Daze, which is the combo. Black-green. So this may be the rock. Say okay to that. Seal of removal is interesting. I think I'm not gonna play around Wasteland anymore. So I'm just gonna play Adarkar Wastes. So now we have access to Counterspell, we have access to Daze. If this is indeed the rock, then this Winter Orb is gonna be quite strong. That's a deed. I think I'm just gonna Counterspell here. Nice and clean. Tap the Wastes, and now we have access to foil. Okay. Maybe drawing the foil means I'm not supposed to play out the island, but I think I'm gonna be able to daze something. Eventually, at least. City of Brass. You're gonna play around Daze, opponent? They are gonna play around Daze. Alright, that's fine. I'm not gonna play that island, I'm just gonna play... Do I play Seal of Removal? I guess there's no need for me to. So I'm just gonna pass the turn here. Alternatively, I could just play out the island and just hardcast this foil. That may have been better, actually. Deed. Yeah, I think I'm gonna let that go. I'm just gonna stifle the trigger. If my opponent taps out, tap, play my island, say go. Imagine my opponent's gonna pop here. This does use my stifle though, obviously. So stifle that one. So now I don't have access to half the combo anymore. So we'll see how this goes. Still have access to Daze. Winter Orb still doing a lot of work here. Another stifle, okay. I'm gonna play a land because we may draw Gush. At this point I think I'm just hardcasting this foil, actually. Wall of Roots. Sure. I'm gonna plow that. Just plow the wall. Could have also just kind of seal of removal. Man, this is getting kind of awkward. Do I want to play out my land? Think so. There's no reason to hold wastes in hand. The ETB tap land versus Winter Orb is kind of brutal. Vision Charm. Okay. Man, I really gotta start drawing some business over here. Wall of Roots. Just gonna foil that. Untap basic island. Yeah, I'm just gonna opt on my opponent's Sun Step. I could opt on my main phase. It's kind of weird. But I don't think I want to tap out main phase. So let's opt on end step. They just pass. Hey, that one's good. Let's play an island. It's not a great draw. But now, let's fetch for a basic plains. And I have 2 layers of protection here. 2 layers of protection. Is that good enough after my opponent has been kind of passing the turn a bunch? I think it's fine. And I'm gonna Vision Charm here. And I guess Vision Charm is better against removal. Yeah, I'm just gonna Vision Charm here. There's an argument for using Stifle on the trigger to play around Smother specifically. Diabolic Edict. Okay. So let's Seal of Removal my thing. And now I'm going to let that go. We're gonna replay this. I'm gonna Stifle the trigger. And now we have access to Daze. And if we can draw just any form of protection, we're gonna be good. And we're still kind of time walking. Double Daze is nice. Winter Orb, the MVP from this game. This Winter Orb did an absurd amount of work. Now let's see if my opponent chooses to play around Double Daze. Nice, nice, nice. That's fantastic. Okay, so we're playing against The Rock. Winter Orb, we probably want a second copy. Hibernation is interesting versus The Rock. It returns green permanents. Definitely want the Seal of Cleansings. Fire Action Furnace can probably go. I guess Furnace is fine. I'm not sure how I feel about it against. I'm not sure how I feel about it against Recurrent Nightmare. So I think I'm just gonna cut it. It just does not seem like enough value. So cut Seal of Removal as well. I think I want more plows. Do like mages. Seal of Cleansing looks medium, I guess. Seems okay. I think 2 copies is fine. Maybe cut 1 Enlightened Tutor, because I don't want to deal with the card disadvantage. I do think that even though I'm on the draw, I do think that Daze is probably just good enough to play. On to game number 2. And I kind of like this hand. Let's keep it. We got a cantrip to look for lands. StifleNought. Again, Winter Orb. It's going to be interesting what we name with Meddling Mage. I think I'm probably naming Pernicious Deed. Let's opt because I may find a Daze. Gush. Probably keeping Gush. Another island's great. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna get an island. Get a plane, sorry. And I'm just gonna slam the Winter Orb here. Next turn, we do get to play the Meddling Mage. Really wish we had access to a Daze. I feel like Daze would be fantastic. So, Winter Orb first. Next turn, we're going to play Meddling Mage. Point on top Swamp. And now, City of Brass. Cabal Therapy. What do they even name here? If they want to get their 2-for-1, they're going to. Stifle. Okay. They got 1 on the blind, and now if they want to, they can just flashback using Wall of Blossoms. Taking Gush seems pretty good here, honestly. Gush plus Winter Orb is kind of messed up. I am very surprised I might not do that. Like, I think I'm just straight up naming Cabal Therapy with the Meddling Mage. Yeah, they just have to, right? They just have to flashback Therapy there. They can get a clean 2-for-1. They can... I mean, they just have to name Gush. It's far and away the best card here. Seal of Cleansing. Okay, so my opponent could not help but to get the guaranteed 2-for-1. Understandable. So let's untap our planes. That's kind of nice. So we're going to play Meddling Mage here. And I think we're going to name... There are multiple options to name here. We can name... Pernicious Deed, we can name Smother, we can name Diabolic Edict. I think I'm just gonna name Pernicious Deed. Just, it's kind of the best card my opponent could have. They could have another Cabal Therapy, and they know about the Gush, but it's just Gush in response. Like, what would they even name at that point, right? Okay, perfect. I think I'm just gonna untap the planes. Natural. Okay. So we're doing this, regardless. Nice. Okay. So that resolves. Now we play another Winter Orb. And we attack with Meddling Mage. This is going to be a Meddling Mage kind of game. We do find Dreadnought. We can Enlighten Tutor for something. Don't even know what we would be E-tutoring for. This is our second Winter Orb, so we can't do that anymore. 3 mana for Yavimaya Elder. It's pretty good. That is pretty good. It stops my offense on its tracks, because I obviously don't want to make that trade. I think I severed out my Seal of Removal if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's gone. That's kind of awkward. What do we do here? Yeah, I think I'm just gonna play Meddling Mage. And we have Deed named here, so I'm just gonna name... Diabolic Edict doesn't do anything anymore, so I'm just gonna name Smother. Pass the turn. This is gonna slow things down pretty significantly. So they play a land, Llanowar Wastes, and tap my island, foil. So we can save this E-tutor to pitch to foil. Seems okay. So we're just gonna pass the turn back here. Maybe I should have named Pernicious Deed again with the Meddling Mage. Diabolic Edict. Yeah, I'm gonna sack the one that's naming smaller. Pernicious Deed's just too good. But I don't think that Diabolic Edict is worth foiling. Interesting. So they have a wall. It's kind of the only thing that would make sense. Smother. So they have 1 card left in hand. I imagine that 1 card is a Pernicious Deed. That's why they want to get rid of these. So I guess this seems worth foiling. I don't think that was a super great attack from my... So we swing for 2, pass the turn. Kind of unlucky that we drew the Swords to Plowshares after we untap our basic island. But like, we have more cards that we care about casting from basic island than from planes. Okay, so now they're not going to get value from... Oof, that's a great draw. Holy crap, is that a good draw. So we get rid of the Abimai Elder. The problem's gone. Let's gush. Wow. Well, alright. That's... Things are working out for me. Everything's coming out Millhouse, as they say. Everything's coming out Millhouse. So my opponent's hand could be exactly Smother. If they have Smother number 2, that could be a problem. Or I guess Naturalize, but yeah. Wow. Yo, this deck is sick. This deck is sick. And like Swords to Plowshares really showing up. Also Meddling Mage. Jesus, this card is so good in this format. See you next round. I'm sorry, folks. This is going to be the round that has no audio right here. So you're going to be able to check out the entire match, but you're not going to be hearing me talking. So if you're interested in checking out, I highly recommend it. It was a really, really good match. So hopefully you enjoyed it anyway, and I'm sorry. All right, welcome to the last round. Now with 100% more audio than the previous round. Okay, so we keep this, and if we whiff on opt, we're gonna be in trouble, but Crystal Vein, okay. But we have the combo in hand, we got a Stifle. This is 2 mana and sack. Can we stifle that ability? I don't think so, right? Altar of Dementia, okay. Not much I can do about that one. Interesting that they played out a city. So here's an opt, another island, I'll take it. I don't know what I'm really up against right now, so I think I'm going to play out the basic island and say go. I'm gonna try to this means I get to hold up counterspell. Next turn I can play out Strand and AOT and Lightning Tutor. My opponent's clearly playing a combo deck, but I'm not familiar with that with that mana that they got going on over there. Fellwar Stone is a sweet one. I remember playing Chandalar, and I was a kid, and I didn't really know too much about Magic, but I remember I was like, oh, 2 mana, you get to add more mana. That seems pretty good. So I guess young me was not that much of an idiot. Play City of Traders, okay. Another Fellwar Stone. Well, now I'm officially scared. Fellwar Stone, tap. Another Fellwar Stone, okay. Well, hey, that's the one I was gonna tutor for. I think I still chill here. Man, these meddling mages are gonna be great. Game 2, once I know what my opponent's up to. They're not particularly great right now. Opponent's got a lot of mana over there. They tap 2 mana. And now what? 3 mana. Impulse. I just fixed their mana for them. Brutal. They may be playing a Show and Tell deck. Show and Tell was actually recently unbanned in the format. 3 mana. Tangle Wire. Yeah, okay. That forces my hand, unfortunately. What can I tutor for now? I guess that without knowing what my opponent's up to, I can't really tutor for anything. So now my game plan of going for a tutor doesn't really do too much. Would love to find a foil. Gosh, would be great, I guess. So let's play. I'm just gonna go for the combo now that I drew a land. And I think that I'd rather stifle than Vision Charm, because Vision Charm seems like it could potentially do something. So I mean, I'm assuming that Altar of Dementia is part of the combo that's going on the other side. So just having access to the Seal of Cleansing on the board should be doing some. All right, opponent taps some mana. If they do cast Show and Tell, I think I'm gonna Meddling Mage. I'm gonna blow up Altar of Dementia, and then I'm going to put Meddling Mage into play and name Altar of Dementia. I think that's gonna be my play. Because they could be playing a Devourer, Tinker. Well, I mean, it's basically the same thing that I was saying. Gonna blow up Altar of Dementia in response. And, oh, wait, why did I do that? No, that's fine. Yeah, that's bad. I think they're just gonna get the little guy. That one, yeah. So it's just Devourer combo. So they play City of Brass. One last card in hand. Is it another Altar? It's not. All right. That sounds great. So I'm just gonna play Meddling Mage here. I mean, I'm gonna swing for 12. I'm gonna hold on to this in case I draw foil. But here comes 12 damage. I guess I could have put another Dreadnought into play. But yeah, here's a Meddling Mage. And I guess I'm gonna name Altar. I guess it's 50-50 on the... I think I'm gonna name Tinker, actually. Yeah, I'm gonna name Tinker. Because I can just Vision Charm, right? I can Vision Charm and face out the Devourer. And then I just win. This format is wild, man. This format is completely wild. It's a lot of mana. Another Devourer. Okay. It's good. So I think that's lethal. So what I do is I attack with both. They block one here. We just trample over. This is just lethal. I don't need to do anything. Because this is plus X. Oh, it's +1/+1. Okay, so I guess that actually matters. Oh, it puts X plus on counters. That's so random. Oh, but no, yeah, this is just fine. Like, we're just good. We're just good. So we attack, and they just block. They're gonna pump one of their Devourers. Then we face it out, and we just trample over. I'm pretty sure that works. Its power cannot be more than... If at any point the power is 7 or greater, they sack it. So that means that I think I'm locked. Like, in fact, I guess that they can... Okay, so this is also nice because it's going to show me a bunch about their deck. Oh, we're X. Oh, it's up to the mana value. Okay, so now they're risking this. This is actually great. So I guess they don't choose. Like, I thought it got a counter for each thing, but I think that this is just game now. But they actually don't have control over it. Like, whatever gets exiled, that's what this grows. So that's funny. Like, they can't actually pump it more than that because like, if they find, I guess that's actually the top, like exiling a 2 and a 3. But if they have actually popped like a 2 and a 2, they are risking finding another 2, and then this grows over, and then it just dies, which is hilarious. Okay, Seal of Cleansing. I think I want Gainsays. Fire Action Furnace doesn't seem like it does anything. Winter Orb doesn't do anything either. Does Plow do anything? So the combo is that they buff their dude, and then they just sack it to Altar. So I think Plow does do something? Big question mark on that. I think I'd rather have Seal of Removal than Plow. Maybe 2 Plows is fine. Maybe we can shave 1 Enlightened Tutor. I do like the Meddling Mages. Maybe, I mean, I guess Daze is just on the draw. Maybe I should have another... I should just cut 2 more Dazes and bring in another thing, another Plow. So this hand is obviously not very good. You're gonna ship it. Mulligan. This hand is decent. Sounds... Ugh. So I definitely want to keep these. And I probably want to keep the Meddling Mage. So I guess I keep and I bottom the land? I think so, yeah. Wait, they're passing the turn? That has to be a misclick. So, Chromatic Sphere. Okay. Absolute genius. Just bottoming the land and then drawing the land. What a master. We're gonna get tinkered here? That would suck. I guess they're gonna have... I mean, now that I know Shivan Reef is in the deck, maybe they have Pyroblasts, which means I probably want my own Rebs. I guess it would be Bebs, not Rebs. We could yellow opt into a Daze. That would be pretty sexy. We have 2 Dazes. Okay, so they just cycle Sphere. So now they can't tinker. Defense Grid. I have to opt in response to that one. Bottom that. And pass it. So now that they have Defense Grid, obviously foil doesn't really do anything, but I do get to play Meddling Mage, and I get to name Tinker. Again, they could have stuff like Reb or whatever, but not too much I can do about that. Also, I guess punished for bottoming an island instead of the Flooded Strand. No, I did not bottom the island. Yeah, so never mind. I did bottom the Flooded Strand. Another Defense Grid. Okay, so we're not countering anything. We are not countering anything at all. I mean, we can main phase Gush. I think I'm supposed to do that. So I think what I'm supposed to do here is I'm supposed to float 2 mana, main phase Gush, and hope that I draw the nuts. Okay, that's not the nuts. But my idea was to hope to draw one of the combo parts of the other half of the Dreadnought combo. But it was, yeah, I'm not going to be able to pay for double Defense Grid, right? Hopefully my opponent gets again into a spot where they are just main phase plowing, like the main phase just playing out a Devourer. Tangled Wire, okay. So we are definitely under lock here. I guess I can stifle the Tangled Wire trigger, that's funny. Alright, so my opponent has bought themselves a lot of time. Now it's just a matter of, are they going to get the job done. Because they don't have too much mana. Okay, there goes a Tinker. Into what? Into Devourer. Okay, so we're just gonna get comboed here. Yeah. Alright. Okay, so now we do get to see their combo, which is we get to see their combo on their entire deck. So they do have Pyroblasts. I guess not their entire deck, just like 46 or whatever. Fling is another way of winning that they have access to. Bunch of Pyroblasts, okay. And I'm going to obviously conceal the trigger on the stack. Imagine we just like stifle that trigger right there. Whew. That would be so hot. Okay, so the blue Elemental Blast and Hydroblasts are better than I thought. Seal of Removal is bad. My opponent can just win in response. I think the Plows are also bad. Stifle seems fantastic. Gainsay is good. Daze, much better on the play. Counterspell, Foil is fine. I think I'm just gonna cut the tutors. Maybe bring in one tutor. Cut one Hydroblast. Let's bring in the tutors and let's cut one Daze. I don't think it's gonna be particularly great. And maybe one Hydroblast. Okay, game 3 on the play this time, and this hand looks very, very strong. Let's play an island and say go. Ancient Tomb. Felwar Stone. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go for the combo on turn 2. I can... Actually, it's better to go for Seal of Cleansing right now. Because next turn I get to go for the combo with Hydroblast backup. Tap Ancient Tomb. Seal of Cleansing seems like such a great card in this format. Against this style of combo deck. Because there's no such thing as Speeding Needle, so... Once the seal sits in play, like that's it. Okay, red mana. Red cannot answer enchantment, so the Seal of Cleansing is chilling here. Another Felwar Stone. 2 mana for Impulse. Alright. So now this turn we're gonna combo. We're gonna put a Dreadnought in play and hold up a Hydroblast. And then... Oh, okay. Second Ancient Tomb is kind of rough for my opponent here, because now this Dreadnought is now effectively a 1-turn clock. And I imagine that my opponent's answers to Dreadnought are going to be like shatter effects, right? Maybe they have access to bounce spells. That would be pretty rough. Gosh. Well, here's a Dreadnought. And let's face it out. Don't suck anything. Pass the turn. So we can blow up Defense Grid and then Hydroblast in response if my opponent has like a red card. But now that they also cannot, like this Defense Grid is, unless they kill me right now, it's actually doing work for me because like it effectively says these Ancient Tombs can't tap for mana because my opponent is not going to be able to like blow up my dude on my turn, or if they are, I can just protect it with double counterspell. So I'm kind of feeling like I'm in good shape. Thanks to the Seal of Cleansing. Opponent down to 12. Tapping that Ancient Tomb. So they have to win right now. Yep. Tinker. Tinker for Tanglewire. Okay. This makes things really weird. So this taps Artifact, Creature, or Land. So I cannot tap my Seal of Cleansing. So I think I just blow up. We're on end step. I think I just blow up the Tanglewire and I just untap and win. Unless I'm missing something, but I don't think I am. I think now we win. Just swing for 12. Easy game. 4-0. I am the champion. Alright, baby, let's wrap this one up. I am very impressed. I was very, very impressed by how well the deck performed. I was particularly impressed by Meddling Mage. Like, this card felt like an absolute all-star in a bunch of the matches. I was not expecting this card to be as good. And it was much better than I expected. Like, it comboed incredibly well with Dreadnought, and it kind of gave me outs in situations where we would have been in really, really bad shape. Otherwise, like, playing around removal, or like playing around just like combos, or, you know, played against Defense Grid in the last round, for example, and it's just like, you play a Meddling Mage, like, that just sits there, right? So, obviously, you know, it got Power Blasted. Whatever, but like you get the point. Like it's a strong effect that can't really be replaced in any other way. It's just it's kind of like Cabal Therapy, but it also protects you from the top of your opponent's deck, which is something that Cabal Therapy does not. So very, very impressed by Meddling Mage. The rest of the deck felt very, very strong. I really liked the tutor targets. All of them came up. Winter Orb came up against Rock. Seal of Cleansing came up as well. Phyrexian Furnace was the only one that did not come up. Seal of Removal was kind of an all-star. We even used it defensively in order to protect our Dreadnought in one situation, and we just combo out again. That was very, very cool. Furnace was the only one that did not really come up, but I feel like, obviously we did not get paired against something like Reanimator. We did not get paired against Angry Hermit or any of the other, graveyard-based combo decks that the format has. And I feel like if that had been the case, it would have been, it would have been better. But yeah, the Enlightening Tutors themselves were not good though. I felt like we were kind of falling behind a bunch while doing that. So I feel like I'm not sure if I cast this card a single time. Also, I remember like one of the matches we just like drew a bunch of them, and at that one point the Enlightened Tutors were basically just like card disadvantage, get a Dreadnought, but we don't have the other piece, so it's kind of rough. So yeah, I was not super high on this. So my thought process originally was like, well, blue-black Dreadnought's playing Limdoo's Vault, so Enlightened Tutor is basically Limdoo's Vault, right? Like, except it only gets one card and it costs no life, of course. But it didn't feel like that. It was it was much worse than that. I don't know. I feel like I will continue playing this deck. In fact, I own the deck in paper, so if I had any events, this is probably what I would be playing. But it's definitely felt lackluster, and I feel like this is something that is very common in this format. Like a lot of decks are playing tutors like this, but all of these tutors just feel fair because the card advantage is so real. So you can just like jam a deck with like 4 of these, and like if you ever draw 2 of them, like you're actually in really tough shape. So if you're doing Enlightening Tutors, you need to be very much all in on what you're trying to do, and I don't think that this deck is doing that. So I could see doing something like playing maybe some Impulses to play some more cantrips, or maybe playing another copy of some of the tutorable targets here. I don't know, like I feel like it's the tutors were far and away the worst card in the deck. Maybe that doesn't mean that it was just a bad and I should just cut the card, but I'm saying that it was the least impressive card of the 60. As far as the sideboard goes, it just feels like we just did not use a bunch of cards, but like it's to be expected. We only played 4 rounds. But I felt like most of my bases were covered. Like I felt like I had cards springing in basically every single matchup we faced. It felt good, and some of them were incredible. Like Winter Orb versus the Rock was just absolutely backbreaking, and Stifling Pernicious Deep Triggers was just absolutely great with a Winter Orb in play. So deck felt strong, went 4-0, loved every second of it. You can expect to see more of this in the future. Thank you so much for watching. If you are still here, thank you so much. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe, and leave me a comment down below if you enjoyed what you saw. If you have any interest in supporting the stream, you can do so through Patreon, through donations, and booking coaching. So that should cover all of the shill. And I will see you in the next video, folks. Take care and have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye-bye.